Hello and good morning. Welcome to the Blackout Show. I'm Jerry.
I'm Sarah.
And we are going to start off today with talking about our new team member.
Yes, we've got a new UK correspondent, and he stems all the way from Scotland. His name is Johnny, and he's a top bloke.
A top bloke, eh?
Yeah, he's good for a laugh, and he knows his stuff.
True story. He is good for a laugh.
Yes, we've had a few Facebook and Twitter conversations with him.
I think we should leave those out right now.
Those conversations aren't suited for this podcast.
No, definitely not. So, welcome aboard, Johnny. We're happy to have you with us.
Welcome to the insane bunch of people who pretend to be sane but really aren't.
True story.
True story. All right. We've got a lot of news this month because a lot of things have happened, including Chester to begin with. He was named in Kerrang! Magazines as number 18 in their list of the greatest rock stars in the world today. He joined the list with such others like Randy Blythe from Lamb of God, and we all know Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails.
I have to say, actually, that Chester has been all over the news. What's up with Mike? He's not been anywhere except for on Twitter, retweeting stuff that people have already tweeted.
Or he's been posting pictures of goats lately.
Oh, I must have missed the recent upload of goats.
Well, he so I think yesterday or the day before, he just randomly posted this picture of a goat, and so everyone just tweeted in pictures, like they tweeted in pictures of their goats, and next thing I know, my timeline is just full of goats. Okay, because we talked with Ali on the second podcast about the goats,
right? But I saw maybe it was Emily, our street teamer from Vegas, respond about something about Mike with a goat, but I never saw the tweet that Mike tweeted about the goat, and I'm like, is she late or am I missing something?
It was just a picture of a goat, no text needed.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, okay, for this cycle, like this album cycle, a lot of talk about goats. And if you remember correctly from the last album cycle, it was all caps everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think this is just an ongoing joke that we're just going to have to tag along.
Yeah.
For the ride.
Definitely.
Because, considering, like, they've given so many interviews about how heavy this new album is and how much Mike denies that this is a prequel to Hybrid Theory, it's not going to contain goats.
It's not. I think that they ruled out the goats. However, which one, Until It Breaks, does have a cute little child laughing.
What was the go with that? Just, like, at the very end of the iTunes version, there's just, like, this random noise.
It's a child laughing.
Okay, it's a kid laughing. Yeah, you get my pun.
So you think he gave up the goat for the child? Or the kid?
Probably. It actually reminds me of a little bit of Chucky. You know, the Chucky crazy doll? It reminded me of that. I was thinking, what the hell is this?
Oh my gosh, now we're going to have to pull up that and see if it's the same sound.
Oh, the nightmares, please. I've never recovered from the Chucky movies.
Oh, I hated those movies.
Just a little bit off topic here. Chucky has instigated a lot of my friends' fears of dolls.
Chucky's creepy. Kind of like the conversation we were having the other day about Slipknot masks. Creepy.
Oh, good old Jerry and Slipknot masks.
I can't help it. It's just creepy. Especially the clown.
I'm just here thinking, it's a work of art. the mask, and you're like, no, they're just freaky.
Yes.
Stop talking.
It's not,
Stop talking, Sarah.
It's not a work of art. It's just creepy.
But back on track, we got Carnival's tour.
Yes, we do. Coming up soon.
that doesn't feature Slipknot.
Yes.
Was it like with the Carnival tours coming up and a bunch of other European festivals to headline Linkin Park, such as the UK Festival Download, Rock am Ring, and Rock am Ring? Rolling Stones are naming Carnival's tour one of the most important concerts this summer. With a few dates and venues already sold out, it's no doubt that Rolling Stones have done this because Linkin Park are joined by 30 Seconds to Mars and AFI. If you live under a rock and you don't know their names, we suggest you do download their latest albums off iTunes for a small price to try and get to know them. They're alright bands, but I think there are a lot more 30 Seconds to Mars and Linkin Park fans than there are of AFI and Linkin Park fans out there.
I, for one, am not looking forward to 4 shows of 36 to Mars, but I am, however, looking forward to the AFI.
Well, so that Carnival tour will be touring North America in the upcoming months, including a stopover in Canada. Linkin Park will also be starting their touring cycle of the Hunting Party in a few days.
So exciting.
The band heads to Tucson, Arizona to perform the KMFA.
KMFM.
Sorry, I wrote it wrong. KMFA. Yeah, I always, this one always does my head in for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's the KMFA Music Festival on the 24th of May, which is this coming Saturday. The next performance won't be until the 30th, where they perform at Rock am Ring, and the live stream is apparently going to be available for international viewers to watch on Linkin Park performing, and that is going to instigate a string of European dates.
I wonder if they'll do that for the Download Festival. I would love to see that.
Well, it's like Download Festival. They've got nothing but Hybrid Theory playing.
Exactly.
So,
but I'm thinking that because Linkin Park is Linkin Park and they're headlining, they need more than a 30-minute show. So I'm thinking they'll put more music in there, but they're just gonna do.
Because on average, Linkin Park set is about 90 minutes.
Right. So they'll do the hybrid. They'll do hybrid in its completion, but they have to have other music in there. Otherwise, they're not a headliner; they're an opener.
Well, the thing is, with Hybrid Theory, it's not even 90 minutes long.
Right. It's like 34 minutes. Yeah,
or something like that. It's a short album.
Mhm. That's what I'm saying. They have to have other music in there. Otherwise, they're an opener, not a headliner.
Well, yeah. And I've looked at the lineup, and there's some pretty good bands going. Like, I personally like Fozzy, and they're going, and coincidentally,
like a punk band.
Coincidentally, Fozzy was at Soundwave when Linkin Park was there too. Here, so I just find that a little bit coincidental, to be honest.
Well, it is a festival.
Well, yeah. Well, Fozzy is a metal band.
Are they like a punk metal?
You know Chris Jericho, the wrestler?
Okay.
And he's the lead singer of it.
Oh. Because I've heard of Fozzy, but I don't know why. It's not my mainstream music.
No. But I think Download's going to be a major gig for them.
Mhm.
So, I do hope there's a stream available. Knowing the fan base and people in it, they're going to find something.
Somebody will upload it to YouTube eventually.
Well, the thing is with our fan base, we can find stuff before Mike even tweets about it. And it's like, how do you even know?
Stalkers, I tell you, stalkers. You uploaded some pictures of the...
Whatever it was, and
I was like, how does Stalker find this?
It's just the power of the fan base, really. I mean, we know what's happening,
right,
etc.
so you kind of know what to look for, and... True.
Well, yeah. Well, talking of looking for, Jess was also recently and coincidentally at the iHeart Music Awards. And guess who he was presenting an award to?
I'm guessing that it's going to be 30 Seconds to Mars. Not for sure, but I'm guessing.
Yeah, he presented 30 Seconds to Mars with an award. I'm not sure what award it was, but I think that just kind of brings out a huge carnivores to a cross promotion there.
A little bit.
Yeah. Or well, if it wasn't deliberately done, it's a good coincidental segue.
I'm thinking it was deliberately done, but I'm not sure why Mr. Shinoda wasn't there.
Mr. Shinoda was somewhere else.
Doing something else. Looking for goats, probably.
No, he wasn't in a field or at a nursery. He was at the Golden Gods Award, I think it was a few days before.
Oh, that's right, where he called it something completely different, and he's like, whatever, I'm human, I don't care.
He's like, I think he called it the Kerrang Awards.
I think he did. And
everyone tweeted it saying, no, Mike, no.
I think a couple people told him, you're drunk, go home.
That was me, actually.
Yeah, I wasn't going to name you, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, he retweeted me on that. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, I was checking my bank statements when I got this thing on my phone saying Mike Shinoda retweeted you. I'm like, oh, great, you know what that means?
That means he saw your tweet about he's drunk, go home.
That means a string of notifications. I just rushed to turn my notifications off. I don't want to know about it.
True stories.
Well, touching back on the Golden Gods, you know what it is, right? You know what that award ceremony mainly focuses on?
Metal?
Heavy metal, hard rock, etc.
Right.
He actually presented Josh Homme. Holmes. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
I have no idea.
He is the lead singer of Queens of the Stone Age.
Mm-hmm.
And he won Best Vocalist.
Oh, nice.
So I think a lot of Queens of the Stone Age fans were actually happy that Shinoda presented Josh with an award.
Yeah, I think they would be.
I didn't see much hype around the fact that Shinoda's shaking hands with hello Queens of the Stone Age singer. It's a big deal to some of us.
Some of you it is, most of you it's not. It's just like whatever. It's Mike, yay. But those people who like Linkin Park don't necessarily like other harder music, I guess. Because Queens of the Stone Age, let's face it, is a little bit of a harder.
They're alternative and hard rock,
right? And I think a lot of Linkin Park fans are Linkin Park fans, but they're not necessarily hard rock fans. Does that make sense?
Well, each to their own. I mean, I listen to a lot of hard rock and a lot of metal and stuff.
Right. I know who Queens of the Stone Age are. I could, I don't want to say bebop to their music, but I could get down with their music. But you
couldn't recognize them.
I know who they are. That would be a complete false. That you're like Josh, and I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about, but whatever.
But like, if you heard their song on the radio, would you be able to recognize them?
Most likely.
Well, yeah. Was it going on to other news? Was it there's I don't know
the listening party?
Well, yes, listening parties meant to happen on Friday.
Did it right in like 2 days?
2 days, yeah. At a secret location in Los Angeles. Fingers
crossed that I get picked to go.
Well, fingers crossed. I mean, like, there's so much initiative and so much hype going around these listening parties that I think this is probably the first time I've seen Linkin Park invite fans to preview the album. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you are, and I am only saying this because I was talking to one of my friends who actually got to go to the last listening party.
Okay.
Because she was saying that yesterday when they tweeted that picture of them rehearsing Hybrid, she was saying, "Oh, I think they're setting up for the listening party," and I'm like, "No, I think they're rehearsing for Hybrid because they're playing the whole thing at the Download Festival." She's like, "Yeah, but that setup looks like from the last listening party," and I'm like, "Oh, then I don't know, dude."
I would have thought they would be rehearsing for the Arizona performance.
Not if they're not doing Hybrid at KFMA?
Yeah.
Whatever. But because their Instagram actually said Hybrid rehearsal.
Okay, sorry, I missed that part.
I had actually retweeted it because I didn't see anywhere on or on Twitter that it was there. So I retweeted it and then went into the show's account and retweeted it, not realizing that when I retweeted it, it left that part of it off. So that was my mistake in not catching the glitch of it. But on their actual Instagram that they uploaded, it did say Hybrid rehearsal.
I must have missed that, but I'm probably quite oblivious to it.
You were probably half asleep anyways, or all the way asleep. Time zone.
Yeah, good old Jerry having my back when I'm asleep. You just wake up to these retweets like, what did I retweet?
You're like, what did I do?
It's like, was that... Because half admittedly, I do tweet stuff when I'm half awake and then go back to bed.
Well, and you retweet more stuff than I do because I don't really pay attention to Twitter that much anymore. It's just, to me, it's all repetitive.
Well, because you're at work.
Well, that too. But as of the 15th, I have a nice long month vacation.
Well, yeah, it's like, they've uploaded like a stack load of videos and everything on Instagram.
Well, yeah, exactly. And then, everything's like repetitive, and I'm like, I don't really care, so I just haven't even been going on it. But I do actually check my Instagram because I like to look at people's pictures. I'm weird like that.
And stalk people.
Yeah, totally. I'm such a stalker, but we won't go there.
That's a whole different topic for another podcast.
But I'm not crazy stalker. Let me just throw that in there. I don't actually follow them around.
I just subconsciously stalk them.
Yeah. I subconsciously stalk Google.
Or someone retweets something and you feel like, oh, okay, I'll just click on that.
Right?
What did I just click on?
Dang it.
Damn it. Well, but it's like, yeah, I find it, they're doing Throwback Thursdays on the Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And was it last week they did a Throwback Thursday with a My concert? I was like, oh yeah.
They did do,
they did a throwback. Yeah, they did a Throwback Thursday of the Sydney performance Living Things of Points of Authority.
Yes, they did.
I don't know how I remembered that.
I don't know either. I just remembered that it was a Throwback Thursday from Sydney. I was like, oh, my friend was there. But speaking of throwbacks, I don't know if anybody else knows this. You and I have a little friendly Throwback Thursday competition going on.
We'll put that in. We'll put that in at the end of the podcast because we've got so much news to go through.
Well, then you better hurry up and go through it and quit getting sidetracked.
You started.
I know, but I'm going to try and blame you.
It was like you said, listening party, and I don't think this has been done on a worldwide scale.
I think you're correct with that part.
Because Germany's in for it, Japan, even Australia.
Yeah, they've all had the friendly little competition to go.
Yeah, and I think Italy had it too.
Mm.
So each of the countries' Warner Brothers have set up individual competitions.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't enter the Australia one because I couldn't drop everything at the last minute to go.
Well, if you'd have had your passport ready, I'd have kicked you in your butt to enter it anyways.
Real life sucks.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing, like, the scale on which they're really promoting the hunting party.
Mm-hmm.
And, in particular, the listening parties.
Mm-hmm.
It's on an international basis now.
Which is really nice because it gives those fans who feel like they're left out all the time because they don't live in LA, it gives them the opportunity to be able to win something really cool and totally have bragging rights over it. Be like, yeah, I went to LA for a listening party. I'm cool like that.
Well, yeah, it's that feeling of being included into something.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen many fans complain that they're not American.
Right, because they don't live in LA, they're always left out. And so, this actually is very cool. Warner Brothers.
Marketing-wise, it's a great strategy.
Definitely.
But that brings us to our next point in the news. I mean, since our last podcast, I think we talked about Guilty All the Same being released last podcast.
I think we did.
A new song has come to surface, and it's called Until It's Gone. Now, originally released to Europe as an exclusive to a pre-order for the hunting party, it soon went viral, and slowly but surely, every other country's iTunes and Play Store have had it released.
Which, really I'm going to interrupt you for just a second. Really pisses me off, and yes, I know I said a bad word, but it's not that bad in comparison to what we actually do say. That the U.S. was the very last place to get it. Not that I'm jealous that other people got it ahead of us, but that we got it like a week after everybody else.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I got it a day after the U.S.
Oh, did you? I thought you got it before us.
No.
Okay, well then I shouldn't complain. Go ahead.
Until It's Gone consists of some ripper notes that Chester vocally hits without coming off as aggressive, some guitar work by Brad, and great drumming work by Rob. It's only been out for a little while, but the lyric video that was soon released after the iTunes premiere, was it the premiere of Chester on Zane Lau, because Chester went on Zane Lau, and he gave this interview.
He did.
And that's when they exclusively debuted the song.
Right, in the UK.
Yeah, which Johnny, our new team member,
was gracious enough to rip it for us.
And we've got it on our website. So, but...
And I must really say, I know I thanked him already, but that is a really good rip of that show. Like, it's almost flawless, like it was meant for everybody to hear.
Well, yeah.
There's no glitches or anything like that in it. So, thank you again, Johnny.
But, like, as soon as that was released, like, 5 minutes later, the internet exploded again. Like, I woke up at 3 o'clock for this, for a 4:30 a.m. debut.
Oh, nice.
Like, 5 minutes after the interview had finished, the lyric video came out. And since then, it's hit over 2 million views.
Because it's a really good song.
Yeah. It's a good song for the radio.
Definitely.
I mean, you can have songs that just don't belong on the radio because they're too heavy or they swear too much.
Or they're 6 minutes long.
Or they're 6 minutes long or take up too much airtime or stuff like that.
Right.
But I think Until It's Gone, it's a really good song for the radio.
Yes, definitely.
And I think it's brought, since Guilty All the Same, I think the hunting party has brought in a lot of fans that have stuck their finger up at the band.
Yeah.
For not producing enough good.
Because it's not hybrid theory enough.
Well, okay, in their opinion, like, I've got friends who have this concern with the band, that they're not heavy enough, they're changing too much. You can argue all you like with them.
Welcome to growing up.
But their point will always remain the same. But I think the Hunting Party is bringing that audience back.
Right. Because it's a little bit harder than what they've been doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, you just... you go, which also brings me... I'll explain later on when we touch about Minutes to Midnight. And that's a personal view of mine that we shall discuss, like adults. But, like, the Hunting Party, I guess it just appeals to the new metal fans.
True. Because it's got that harder sound.
Yeah. I love seeing old fans come back to the fan base.
Yeah, it's nice, but don't complain when their next album is completely different. That's all I'm saying.
It's nice to actually have a conversation with them without breaking into arguments.
Right, because they're not their same band. Well, hey, because they've already proven that they can do that. Now they want to try something else. Welcome to growing up.
Like, and before we get entirely sidetracked and have this whole topic consume us again,
I know, because that's what's going to happen here in about 2 seconds. But I like the fact that they make music that they want to listen to, not that everybody else wants to listen to. Because those people that are truly Linkin Park fans will listen to it and at least give it the opportunity to go, it sucks, or hey, it's all right, or, it grows on me, or something like that. Whereas the narrow-minded people it's not a hybrid theory, so it sucks. No, actually, you just need to broaden your mind.
I think the term true Linkin Park fans is a bit too...
But you know where I was going with it. It wasn't to say that there's not true Linkin Park fans who... You're allowed to not like what they're doing, but you don't have to be a jerk face about it, and that's kind of where the difference is.
Yeah, well, like I said previously, Mike has come out and he said, look, I'm sick of seeing what's in my feed. Like, he said this on Twitter. He goes, I'm not liking what I'm seeing in my feed. The Hunting Party is not a hybrid theory prequel.
Exactly.
We're getting back to roots.
Right. They are doing what they want to do, just like they have on every other album. They're doing exactly what they want to do, exactly how they want to do it. And I commend them for that. Because they're like, you know what, I don't care if you don't like it. We like it.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the only attitude you need in a music industry. Exactly. And to succeed is produce music you want, how you like it, and for the love of God, don't water it down.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to put my 2 cents in here. Even though 1,000 Suns still remains my favorite album, I believe Rick Rubin watered that album down.
He quite possibly could have. It's not my favorite, so I'm going to not weigh in on that aspect of it. Yes, I like it front to back. I don't necessarily care for it, and we've had this conversation before too, to where if you put it on shuffle, then you think the guys are smoking crack. Doesn't make any sense, although there is a couple of songs you could listen to by themselves. The whole thing in its entirety is how you have to listen to it. You have to listen to it front to back.
If you want to know about what the hell Jerry's going on about, go back a podcast or two where she tells a story about what happens when you put 1,000 Suns on shuffle for the first time.
Oh my gosh, it's awful.
Well, okay, we've also got great news for Latin American fans too. This podcast.
Oh, tell me about this.
Well, it's like according to a Mexican music channel,
and don't call them Teletubbies.
Did you misread that?
I did. I was like, what the heck?
It was like we're good friends with Wretches and Kings, because one of our street teamers, Mike, is the owner of it, and they encompass Latin American Linkin Park fan base, basically. So, like, according to them and a Mexican music channel called Telehit, Linkin Park is set to make a stop at Mexico for an unknown amount of shows. Also, coincidentally, 30 Seconds to Mars made an announcement soon after about tour dates, but a Carnival's tour pit stop in Mexico remains to be only rumors and unconfirmed. But it is basically confirmed that they will take to MTV World Stage like they did in 2012 in Monterrey, but it's expected that the MTV World Stage will be held in Cancun.
Ooh, nice little stopover in Cancun wouldn't be too bad.
Just, what was it, Linkin Park concert on the beach? I'm so done. So, talking of the 2012 performance in Montreal World Stage, a CD-DVD deluxe package of the Hunting Party has become available to Europeans and Australians. Australian retailer JB Hi-Fi were the first to announce to the public that the DVD extras wouldn't be of interviews, but of a 2013 performance, which was further cleared up by European Nuclear Blast website to be 2012 performance, and it was confirmed that it was going to be Monterey World Stage, where they took the stage in Mexico that year.
Well, that would be exciting. Is that that's not really even something that's released out on that you could just get by itself?
Well, that's it. And I remember I think there was a Pro Shot stream or something for it. And I've seen the concerts on YouTube and that. And it's a really good performance.
Oh, good. That'll be nice for you Aussies to have.
And I think it's also become recently available in Japan, and it's available at Best Buy in North America now.
Oh.
So you might want to check that out next time you're in the area of a Best Buy.
I might have to.
Because I really like it when bands have performances, not interviews.
Yes.
I think interviews are so redundant and...
Because they all ask the same questions. It's like, I know that there's only a certain amount of questions you can ask, but at what point is it like, okay, we're just going to ask you the same 20 questions you're always asked, so go ahead and just start answering them.
Well, yeah, it's like having like live performances at your fingertips, basically. That's just not including an internet provider as well.
Right. Because then even still, because a lot of the uploads on, like, say, YouTube are fan-based, which means that they're not the best quality.
Well, yeah. I think it's going to be the Pro Shot.
Yeah, so that'll be really nice.
So, touching back to our last podcast with Dangerous Echoes, remember Sylvia? Okay, since the Hunting Party track list was quickly to be found, the length times were found shortly after. Last podcast we read aloud the track listing, but I'm happy to announce that I'm happy to announce that the Hunting Party will go for 45 minutes and 12 seconds. Which is actually not a long album, considering Living Things went for 37 minutes. And
Hybrid was like 34.
Yeah. So the longest track length is A Line in the Sand, which goes for 6 minutes, 35 seconds, while the shortest is The Summoning, and it goes exactly for a minute. I call dibs, that's instrumental.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Summoning has to be instrumental if it's only for a minute. Now, I saw a track list with, it was actually on the iTunes, and there was a couple of them that didn't have a time length on them. I think there was 3 of them, and I was like, So the Summoning War, and I don't remember the third song at the time, but I was like, it's one of those 3 that's going to be instrumental for sure. So I think if you've got the full track listing on times and Summoning's a minute, that's exactly the one's going to be instrumental.
Well, there's a complete list of the track times on our Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook is kind of like Twitter for me right now. They've arranged the new update on Facebook doesn't allow you to go by the latest news. So it's just kind of all thrown in there however the heck Facebook feels like it. So I'm like, whatever. I'm not scrolling through a whole bunch of stuff from last Thursday to find out what's going on today. So unfortunately, I missed quite a lot.
And you're missing out the fact that you go on there to join the shenanigans.
I know. I don't get to be included in shenanigans because they're like an hour down as I'm scrolling. Like, okay.
I follow too many people, damn it.
I know. I'm like, I need to clean out my list. Who don't I talk to? All right, you're out of here. Anyways, back on track once again. Touching on the album, a little bit older than The Hunting Party, iTunes recently put up the top 50 legendary albums of hard rock and metal. And it seems like alongside with other albums like Slipknot's Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Metallica's Saint Anger and Korn's Follow the Leader, Minutes to Midnight made an appearance on that list. That's quite a switch from the first 3 people to throw Minutes to Midnight in there.
Okay. Like I mentioned previously about my dislike for Minutes to Midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. There are some good tracks on it.
Right.
But put that album in front of me and ask me my general view of it. It seemed like it was like on crack or something. Because there was no consistency in that album.
There wasn't, and I think that was them trying to get away from the Meteora hybrid. So, while still keeping their sound, they wanted to switch things up, maybe?
Well, it's like I've seen interviews with Mike about Minutes to Midnight, and all they did was experiment.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, like, just generally, experiments can go good, or they can just blow up in your face.
True.
And I feel like, honestly, Minutes to Midnight blew up in my face.
I don't disagree with you on that, but you're right. It does have some good tracks, and it has some tracks that you're like, all right, if you say so.
I don't get that consistency feel with Minutes to Midnight.
Definitely not.
And it throws me off if I listen to it from start to beginning. I'm thinking, there are so many sounds, there's so many different patterns.
Mm-hmm.
It's like saying, it's like jumping off a rail track.
Yeah, it's
and
one
trying
of those,
to find your foot.
It's one of those that ADD OCD people should not listen to.
I also question why this was on the list.
I don't know, because it doesn't match with, say, Slipknot, Metallica, or Korn. It's not anywhere in there. If they're going to throw Linkin Park in that set, then maybe they should have put Hybrid or Meteora with it rather than Minutes to Midnight, because that album just doesn't make sense to be in that group of artists. Slipknot.
Well, if you look at the 3 examples, Saint Anger, Follow the Leader, and Iowa, those are pretty, like, the thing that Iowa and Follow the Leader have in common is that they're on the new metal basis.
But my point more is you have speed metal with not.
Well, was it... Okay, Iowa was considered new metal.
Okay, the category aside, like, just the sound of it. Like, yeah, and I'm sure that not all of their songs are speed metal, since you made me listen to some of them. I can actually say, yes, not all of their songs sound the same. However, the majority of Slipknot is speed metal. The majority of Korn is speed metal. The majority of Metallica is speed metal.
I think you're looking for the term thrash metal.
Okay, whatever. It's that hard sound that Minutes to Midnight just doesn't have anywhere in it.
I know for a fact Korn is not thrash metal.
Yeah, see, that's why I was going more for the speed metal than the thrash metal. It's not...
Because Iowa, albums of that era, Iowa, Follow the Leader, A Hybrid Theory, they had new
metal sound.
New metal sound to it. That's why I was kind of like, why is Minutes to Midnight here?
Exactly.
And
Minutes to Midnight doesn't belong on that list. Hybrid Theory, sure. Meteora, okay. But Minutes to Midnight, not so much.
No. And I wouldn't even put 1,000 Suns on that list.
No, definitely not.
It's like dipping your hand into a bowl and not like testing the water first.
You don't know if it's going to...
You don't know what's in the damn bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I feel about putting Minutes to Midnight on that list. I'm like, no, iTunes, go home, you're drunk.
Definitely. iTunes was definitely drunk putting that album on that list.
Well, moving on, we got more news of Chester. That man is making headlines.
He is. Love it. He's so... I don't know. His personality is just contagious.
Flamboyant.
You can't help but smile when you are talking to Chester. You just can't.
I think Chester's got a very flamboyant personality, and he shows it in a lot of his extracurricular activities.
Yes.
So, this segment we've got, it's Chester's contributing towards a soundtrack of a documentary called La Bear, which is basically about male strippers.
All right, Chester, you go.
And the documentary is directed by the same guy who directs the TV show True Blood. I really don't like that show.
We won't get started.
No, that's a different topic for another day.
Mm-hmm.
And so he tweeted the other day about Chester, and it was a song called Walking Dead. And
which you don't like that show either.
There's a lot of things I don't like.
Yes.
Minutes to Midnight, True Blood, Walking Dead, Sarah, go home. You're not.
Sarah, go home. You're drunk.
Well, the song also features DJ Z Trip. Okay, when you look at the other people involved in the soundtrack, considering it's about male strips, I would not be surprised. Manson's on this list. Flaming Lips, Active Child, and Policia.
I've heard of Flaming Lips. Unfortunately, I do know who Marilyn Manson is. The other people I don't have any clue about, so I can't really weigh in on this. But I'm going to say Marilyn Manson is freaky.
Well, it's talking of freaky, we got the new Transformers promo has been released. And as previously mentioned in our other podcast, Shia LaBeouf has lost the role as the main protagonist.
I know, it's Mark Wahlberg. I'm so excited. I hope he takes his shirt off. Sorry, that's a different podcast altogether.
Oh, it's just like the only reason why I'm going.
Yeah, it's really the only reason. You're hoping that Mark Wahlberg takes his shirt off. That's it. He doesn't need to talk. He doesn't need to do anything. He just needs to take his shirt off. Okay, I'm over.
Are you back down to earth yet?
Yes, I'm there.
Well, instead of Linkin Park's involvement.
Oh, sorry. Also, Shia LaBeouf's not there, but also your girl's not there.
Megan Fox?
Yes, I know how much you love her.
Oh. You're turning on thin ice.
I'm in trouble after this.
Many fans were also disappointed that Linkin Park weren't going to be the featured artist in this.
It's Imagine Dragons, isn't it?
Yeah, but we can't rule out the fact that they might be doing the score. And that still counts as a soundtrack.
No, actually, they have nothing to do with the score. However, there's a possibility that there may be a song on the soundtrack. That's what I heard. But
I heard two different things.
Yeah, so it's really hard to tell. But remember when we were talking about this last podcast or the podcast before it, when we had discussed that the two main characters were not in this one, that I had said I wouldn't be surprised if Linkin Park wasn't in it either, just because they seem to be switching it up so much. And then with Imagine Dragons being the headline, kind of iffy whether or not Linkin Park will be on there.
Well, yeah. So, I'm still going for some Mark Wahlberg. I don't care.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know how I'm going to relate these two, but recently we were given the opportunity to interview Anna Shinoda.
We were.
Did I say that right? Anna Shinoda. What did I say before?
Anna Shinoda would be her name.
I swear I said something differently.
I don't know what you said.
Don't listen.
I was thinking of Mark Wahlberg with his shirt off. I'm sorry. I'm here now. I
didn't know how to make the transition, so I'll be bluntly honest with you.
So yes, we were given the opportunity to interview Anna Shinoda, which she is incredibly awesome. Her personality, you can definitely tell, comes through on her interview. It's great.
I think the greatest thing I like about this, like interviewing her, were her extensive answers.
Yes, she did not.
If they weren't,
she didn't do the 2-word answer. Yes, no.
Yeah.
So she actually elaborated, which allowed us the opportunity to see her personality. So yeah.
Yeah, I was reading through some of her responses, and I actually picked up my favorite response.
Which was?
The question that was posed, it was, if there were any words of advice you could give to anybody in Claire's position or similar, what would they be?
Mm-hmm.
And Anna's response was, I would encourage people to look at the truth about the situation, realize what cannot be changed, and move forward with healthy discussions that will allow them to thrive as an individual. I would also highly recommend talking to a therapist. I didn't realize the deep impact that having a brother incarcerated made on me until I started talking to a psychologist. Certainly, writing was a type of therapy and an important part of the process for me to understand my emotions, but my therapist was able to help me in huge ways that I couldn't have figured out on my own.
Exactly, which allows us partially into her personality and partially into her personal life of, do you really want to tell everybody that you had to see a therapist? I mean, there's no shame in it. There's really not. I've actually seen one myself for different reasons, but there's just that.
It's an insight to a character.
Exactly. There's an insight to the character. There's Anna allowing us into her personal life. Like saying there's no shame in this. You should do it.
It's like, I'm more than just Mike's wife.
Right.
I'm more than just words on a paper.
Exactly. I am a person.
I
am
this is me raw.
Right, and I am my own person, and she's just, yeah, that interview, I was so pleased with how it came out. With us collaborating, because we had so many similar questions we wanted to ask, to be able to collaborate on that and actually get the question to be perfect the way we wanted to ask it. Because let's face it, there was like several drafts on each question.
It was like changing one word after another.
Exactly. And that sometimes it's that one word that you change and play with and put it back and change it 5 more times before you go, no, this is the way I want it. So with you and I collaborating on those questions, I actually think we did a heck of a job for that being our first interview.
Well, yeah, it was our first actual interview. And, like, okay, we admitted we actually got extra help on this because we were so nervous.
We had someone look over it and give us a little
bit of feedback on ourselves.
Right. And I don't think that your mom changed too much of our actual wording. I think you and I did the majority.
But she gave us feedback.
She did, and that was awesome.
And there's a question in the interview with Anna, and it concerns her feedback from the critiquing, or like the critique groups that she utilized.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what we did with my mom, was set out the questions to her.
Right, and let her critique them and tell us, okay, this one's good, but you could tweak it just a little bit more to
get
make
rid of
it...
this, get rid of that.
Right. So, yeah, your mom was a tremendous help in that.
And I think there was a part of the interview where she said something about not letting anyone see a shitty draft. That was her actual wording.
I know, and I loved that. That has to be my favorite answer as far as her personality showing through and saying, you know what, I'm human. This is how I am. And I absolutely loved it, so I did not change that word. I put it in there when we uploaded the thing just exactly like she said it.
And I'm like, it's only one swear word.
Well,
we're going to get away with it.
It's not even that bad of a swear word, but my whole point was, that is awesome that she did that. You know, she reread it 5 different times before she sent it to us. So she purposely meant for that word to be there, and I think that's awesome.
She reread? She did?
I'm sure she would have. She probably had somebody else read it, too. I mean, just as far as, look at how many times we reread it before we actually sent it to her.
Yeah, I think a lot of that actually had to do with nerves.
Well, that of course, but do you think that she would intentionally send out something like that she didn't at least reread once to make sure?
I don't think she got someone else to do. I think she just looked over it herself.
I know, that's what I'm saying. She would have seen that word.
I was like, why is she getting her editor to come look at our interview? No. What the hell?
No, and I think that's absolutely awesome that she left it just like that.
All right, and moving on before we actually make this the Anna Shinoda show.
Yes.
Because we're almost done.
Mm-hmm.
We got Jerry can hit off with our greatest moment.
Ooh, did we have some?
We got 2 responses.
Oh, good. So our usual question to what is your greatest LP moment? We have a couple of responses. User Hybrid Theory writes in with, there are 2 greatest moments for me. The first time I saw them playing Madrid, November 2010, and the day I met the band. Adam and all LPUers in Lisbon, May 2012. These days are unforgettable. So it doesn't look like he elaborated, but you know what? Those are pretty awesome moments because I can remember my first concert and I can also remember meeting them. So kudos to you, Mr. Hybrid Theory. And
I think she's a girl.
It is probably, most likely. Mr. and Mrs. whatever. And the second one is from Kylie Shinoda. She writes in with seeing them in concert and getting to meet Adam and Pooch. Hopefully I'll meet the band this time. So,
it's actually Kaylee, and I'll tell you that you just pronounced her name on air wrong.
Yeah, well, that's not the first time.
We love butchering names.
I do, especially when I'm not really looking at it correctly. Because I totally left out the A. Anyways.
Well, okay, our aim for this month with our fan interaction was to try and double it, but unfortunately we had some things pop up which didn't actually get through. We didn't have enough responses for our original monthly May question, but we did compensate with the caption contest.
Oh, see, I haven't even gotten to see the caption contest yet.
Okay, it was a picture of Joe, Phoenix, and Mike, the Dodgers game.
Right.
And Mike's got his phone in front of him, and we asked viewers to take...
I saw the Candy Crush one, and I was absolutely cracking up going, yeah, that's probably accurate.
So, okay, Johnny actually played along this month. So it's like his initiation, really. And he wrote in saying, wait till I get a pic of your gut for your Instagram, bro.
I don't understand that one, but okay.
You probably have to see it with a picture.
Probably.
Well, we'll put it up on the blog, and we'll make an album for it.
Oh, cool.
On our Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll put all our caption contests in that album.
Okay.
How's that?
I'm down with that.
Okay. The second one was Joe Shannon wrote in on our Instagram saying, after I pass this level of Candy Crush, I'll throw the first pitch at the Dodgers game.
See, that one still makes me laugh.
That's how annoying Candy Crush is.
I know.
And I can just see Mike sitting there playing it.
Sadly, so could I, which is probably why it's so funny to me.
Okay, the third one was from Aziz in Norway. He's a regular listener, and he's an awesome guy. He goes, someone's going to move to the hospital today.
For shame.
Have I mentioned today I found a really awesome meme on the internet?
Would that be the Powerpuff Girl one?
Oh, yes.
Oh, my gosh. Hilarious. I think I almost peed my pants laughing when I saw that.
It's one of those unexplainable things that it really doesn't make sense on air if you have to explain it. You just look at it.
You have to look at the picture and go, that is completely accurate.
Yeah, it's got the 3 Powerpuff Girls, and it's got Joe, Chester, and Mike in one step closer.
So the white hair, the red, or the blonde hair, the red hair, and then just Joe.
Yep.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. We also, we're almost at 400 fans on Facebook.
Wow, that many?
Yeah, and
That's exciting.
I think we just topped 170 followers on Twitter. And we've got over 100 followers on our Instagram.
Very cool. Actually, we have 117 followers on our Instagram. I just pulled that up right now because I wanted to see who's ahead in the Throwback
Social media race.
Thursday.
Well, it's like, yeah, we go Throwback Thursday, and I think the whole concept of it was trying to get the pair of us to pull out our best concert photos.
Yes.
And decide and let the fans decide.
Yes, definitely. So for week 1, as of right now, you kicked my butt. Week
and what
2.
What were the photos? What were the photos?
Your photo was a picture of Mike and Brad on stage. As of right now, you have 23 likes. Mine was a picture of Mike playing his guitar and singing and with lots of smoke, and I have 16 likes. So you totally kicked my butt in round 1.
In round 2?
Round 2, I have a picture of Mike and Brad, and I have 21 likes, and you have a picture of Chester, which is actually a really good picture of Chester, and you're at 20. So you're sneaking up behind me on that one.
And by the way, this is our last podcast before the hunting party hits.
This is also our last podcast before somebody's birthday.
Oh, yeah, I don't know who that could be. Sorry.
I don't know. I think the girl's name is Sarah.
I think we have to find out.
Yeah, I think her name might be Sarah, and she's from Australia. I'll have to double check on that, though.
We'll have to find out on her birthday.
Yes.
Okay, if you're Instagrammer, you can follow us on the Blackout Show online, just /us. We're really easy to find On Facebook, we're the Blackout Show Online again. On Twitter, we're BO_show online because we couldn't fit everything in. And we've even got a Tumblr account. And
it's probably the Blackout Show Online.
Yeah, we're really easy to find. So if you see us around, give us a follow, give us a retweet, even pop in and say hi. We won't bite, for at least now. I think that's about it. All we've got.
I think that's about it.
Okay, so next podcast will be the hunting party special.
Yes,
because it's going to drop in the US on June 17th.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have a podcast around the 20th mark.
We could actually play the hunting party in the background.
If we could, yeah.
I think we should.
I think we should, yeah.
Do a little light play in the background and have us doing our little thing.
No one wants to see us dance or sing.
No, they don't need to see anything. They just need to hear.
All right, well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to us ramble.
Yeah. Sorry about the ramble.
We just topped an hour mark.
Oh, wow.
I think this is our longest podcast.
That's pretty impressive for us. Anyhow, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next month.
All right.
Cheers.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye.